me on camera here. Someone gave that to me. Clint picked it up for me out of Pecan. So Pecan wants to make education great. And I do want to just talk and say thank you. I just feel like it's such an honor to even get the chance to operate in this way. We're in America. It's so fun to get to step up, stand up, talk to people. It gets you out of your comfort zone. I'm so proud of Chris Warwick and also Jessica, because you just keep going, you know what, this is something I haven't done before, but I'm going to do it. And you do it, and it's just great. It's great. It's great. It's so awesome to watch, and it's such a good example for my own young people to say, watch what she's doing. Watch what he's doing. He had never done that before, right? And it's so fun. And I think it's what David Ferris said too, that he identified his weaknesses. He couldn't speak in public, so what did he do? He said, I'll be a teacher. I'll go be a teacher, professor, and force myself to make the changes that need to be made. So y'all know that I have a long list of things that I disagree with that's going on with Granbury ISD, and that's part of the reason I have this piece of paper. It's a notebook paper where I just wrote it all down and went, okay, I can't not run, right? If there's no one else running, I can't not run. And Dave and I had these discussions, just days before. But I want to switch the narrative a little bit right now, and I think it needs to be this, and it is to make public schools strong, support them, build them up. And the reason I say that is because I do not believe that we're anywhere close to having the drain of a public system, like children not being there. I think the rest of our lives, there will be children in public schools, and maybe forever. So I don't think it's ever going to go away. So abandoning it is not the thing. Giving up on it is not the thing. And I have talked to precinct chair people who are like, I know nothing about it, but I've given up on it. And it's because we've gotten so sick of what we've heard, that long, long list. Even just the airplane alone was enough to turn a lot of stomachs. The books were horrible, and they still are. And the thing about the books you have to know is that we were asked to only identify explicit books, not suggestive books. There's a whole nother category of fully suggestive books, suggestive of all kinds of things. The thing I first noticed in the libraries in Granbury, in the school system, was how dark they were, how suicidal they were, how suggestive they were about drugs and surreal things and paranormal. Okay, and again, you may have a propensity to enjoy paranormal literature. I don't, so I know I naturally don't care for it. But to have a big deep dive of it would be just not, it's definitely brain candy. And maybe even worse than brain candy. That might be too nice of a term to call it brain candy. It's not academic. It's not what academics are made of. So there is a thought that Governor Abbott and other people like us are here to tear down this system. We're not. We're to build it up. What's going to be better, saving money or overspending? Okay, that's what David's all about. And I love everything he said today. I think he kept it in such simple terms so we can all understand it, that it is that simple. This is an easy decision. This is a real simple, old-fashioned logic decision. It is a Christian decision too, but even if you weren't a Christian, surely you would want people to pay bills. You'd want them to be responsible with money you give them. I mean, how many times do you hand somebody money and hope they go misuse it? You don't. So it's just super common sense, and it's like almost like Common Core board or something. I don't know. We've got a Common Core board going on. Anyway, so in a plan to protect and build up public schools, we're asking for local control and accountability, where even if we had someone like TASB, or even if we had the state legislators over us, sure, it's great to have them, but why do we need them to tell us to turn off the cell phones in the classroom? We don't really need them to do that. That's an independent decision we could have made on our own. We could have said no phones in the classroom, only in the hall or only at lunch or whatever. Are you here with me? Are you coming up here? Oh, okay. And then I thought maybe you were going to say something.
After you.
Anyway, so this is the point we're making, is to support the school, you're going to have to elect accountable leaders. You really cannot afford anymore to have leaders purchasing airplanes or flying in them and letting others do it and knowing about it. You can't do that. You can't have leaders in your library who are bringing in books. Literally, the lady was there for 18 years, bringing in things that are damaging to the children. And I fully agree with what David said. Woe to us if we let that happen. And we know about it. We really, I can't put my head on the pillow at night knowing that. I couldn't put my head on the pillow knowing how Karen was treated. 100% wrong. So anyway, empower the parents. Make sure they can see the curriculum, the budgets, and the performance metrics. Like literally put it online so you can see it. Don't have anything hidden. Obviously, we want academic excellence and core values. And then I think if Granbury will literally work on making education a priority, then rewarding students for scholarship, for reading ability, for math skills, let's go there. If you look at the accreditation for the school, the very first thing on it is English, language, arts, and then it goes to math as the second one, and we're failing in both of those. So if we fix those two things, we fix a load of things, okay? he mentioned transparency, and that's a big word for a lot of people. It's just letting people see and letting them know. So disciplines, fiscal disciplines, that literally is getting bids. If we got bids on every contract, what if we look at 15 or 20 contracts that we pay big money for, and we check it out with bids and find out we can save $200,000 every single time? Wouldn't that be something, right? To bring down, what would you do with that $1 million? You know, and I do think personally that teachers could be paid more. You want a teacher to stay? Make sure they're well paid, only because they do a good job though. Merit-based pay, of course. So to get them to stay here, we're gonna have to stop fighting as a community. It's gonna have to be the Granbury we all thought we came to. It's gonna have to stay there, that historic town, the safe place where you don't worry about everything. You don't worry about California-ing, how do you say it, our city, our county. So I feel that we do need to support them, and we need to encourage them, and we need to stand very, very firm for what's right and good, because they haven't done it. And Barbara Townsend sure hasn't, and these two people who are coming in with her for sure are not going to. I don't believe for 1 minute either one of them had the intention of supporting even our president and the whole DEI thing, all that. So that's, I'm getting a little squishy there, but anyway, I just wanted to make the point that we need to promote civic and moral foundations. If the kids don't know the civics, we need to make sure they know it. We need to get them involved in the Texas Heroes Foundation. That's a thing that goes on every year here. Children are rewarded literally with cash for their accomplishments in that organization, and they walk away knowing Texas history. My children have been in it every year, and all of them have earned money every time with their projects. So Texas history is really important. American history is really important. True understanding of the Constitution. And I'll have to say, even right now, if I love and uphold the Constitution, I don't know how I couldn't do what I'm doing, whether it be supporting the next candidate or being the candidate. And I hope one day you get a candidate that doesn't have any background or any problems or anybody lying about them or saying things, which is what has happened to me, as you know. I hope you get that candidate. But in the meantime, you got me, and you got David, and you got Jessica, and we are the most prepared, we are the most knowledgeable, we are the most active people who have shown up out of pure volunteer service to understand what's going on with the children in our community. And far more children are in the public school system than are not in it. So to me, it is a huge opportunity to be a blessing to those children and to their families, and to support them in family values and community values, and just seriously making education great again. We can do that. It's actually not that hard to teach children to read, and it's not that hard to teach them math either. So those things can be done, and even if the school doesn't do it, our community could do it. We can do it in our spare time as families and as grandparents and as cousins and relatives and godfathers like David. So my privilege is to run with you. I'm so thankful to get to do that. And also, I wanted to run with Karen because I wanted to be with her on the board. I thought that would have been fun if I ever did it. But it's such a privilege to be walking beside someone who spent so much time serving as a mother, and then to know that there's a husband who supported you all that time to do that, because that's a twosome making that happen. And then David, your service in the Air Force, it's very moving, and the stuff that you thought of and the things that you're saying, it needs to be said, and I really appreciate it. So thank you everybody for coming. And then I don't know if y'all want to take questions or something.
I did want to say
Jessica has something to say.
a little more.